Hi, I'm Barry Farber. Welcome to Mind Your Business. We're going to have a special guest, the founder of American Gold and Diamond Buyers. Do you know what he does every day? Well, if you like the shows like Antique Roadshow, Pawn Stars, or American Pickers, you're going to love what he has to say. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm Barry Farber, and we're with Darryl Gay, founder of American Gold and Diamond Buyers. And guess what? We're going to take a look at part two here. It's been 4 years since I've been with Darryl, and a lot of things have changed in his business, and he's going to talk about what has changed. What's changed since 4 years ago?
Barry,
besides us.
Besides us, well, I have a little more gray now and probably a little less of it too, but that's another story. So much has changed. Now, I'm doing this for 43 years now, and what's happening right now in the gold and diamond business, it's changed so much even since COVID, where people got to sit home and basically stare at the walls. They weren't allowed to go out. So they started looking at what's in their house. They started finding their silver, their gold items, the things that they found out their kids don't want. And they almost can't give them away because nobody wants these items. But the good news is we buy them because these are precious metals. So we buy all the precious metals, we buy the diamonds, we buy the watches. So since COVID, my business actually has exploded because people realize they don't need these items anymore. The kids don't want them. They're not wearing them. We combine that with now in the market, the price of gold has hit record highs just over the past 2 years. Silver has been hovering around that $23 to $25 an ounce mark. It's been giving people a good reason to get out and sell their silver. Chances are when they bought their silver items or they were gifted to them 20, 30 years ago, silver was only $4 an ounce. So these items have become quite valuable and nobody uses them, but we're strong buyers and business has been wonderful.
If somebody's at home and they're looking around their house, what should they look for that really is something key to bring into you and take a look at?
Well, the first thing I would say is something that they're not going to miss. Something that they can live without. You'll see pictures around my showroom of my dad. My dad was a great guitar player, and he had this little piece of metal that he would use to make the different sound on the guitar. It's probably worth $10. I have that in my safe at home because it's so special to me. Yet the gold and the diamonds, I melted my own because we didn't wear it. So you have to figure out what's important to you. What has the sentimental value to you? Keep those items. They'll always be special to you for one reason or another. But as far as the precious metal items, you don't know what to do with them, bring them to us. Stores like ours are open 6 days a week. We evaluate all your items right in front of you. It's relatively easy to do, to be quite frank. Once we identify the items, it's easy to place a value on them based at today's metal markets. And you leave with a lot of money. And money is something people can use today.
Right.
They might not be using those candlesticks or that tea set, but you can certainly use the cash.
You've been doing this for 43 years.
Yes.
And, I've sent quite a few people to you, and they've always spoke extremely highly of your expertise and what you've given them, whether you bought their material or you sent them on their way. The great thing about it that I love is that you're direct and honest because that's what builds a business, word of mouth, and you've been around for a long time, so that's obviously portraying your diligence in that area. But I'd love to know what differentiates you from, like, you're driving up on the highway, you see somebody, we buy gold, we buy silver, we buy, there's a lot of these out there. What differentiates your business and why people should come to you over others?
That's a great question, Barry. Thanks for asking that. Well, for the first 3/4 of my career, I actually had jewelry stores where I was selling jewelry and designing jewelry for clients, where you take on a much more personal interaction with my clients. You learn more about them. So we've basically extended that into this business. So even though I'm buying from them, we still give that same friendly service. Nobody ever has to be afraid to walk into our showroom or intimidated because everybody who comes in If we're not buying their gold, we're feeding them with some kind of food or giving them something to drink, because we just welcome everybody in. We just try to make a wonderful, friendly atmosphere. So I'd say the number one thing is our atmosphere here, between the employees that have been with me for 15 plus years, myself, we make it fun.
Right. So
And I think that's a big difference between what we do here and the other average buyers.
sometimes when I'm here, I'll be watching people and I'll see they're handing you a tray of information you're going through, and you can see them get all excited when you tell them, by the way, this is there, and this is, and they didn't know that. And by the way, there's some things here that Darryl brought out for you just to take a look at. Anything here you want to show people just to give an example of what you take in and how it works?
That's, again, a great question. What I have out here is just a sampling of what we do, and this is something that probably is in everyone's home. And if it's not, it's because they sold it already. Otherwise, it was there first. Gold items, class rings, pocket watches. I mean, when you inherit items from family members who have passed on, you don't know what to do with them. They're not necessarily your style, but you don't want to get rid of them just right away. You hold on to them for the sentimental reasons. But what's happened with the value, just over the past several years, the value has gone up so much. Now you realize, okay, I don't need my high school class ring from 40 years ago. Sell it. I just bought one this morning, today. I gave a gentleman $975 for his class ring.
Wow.
That I guarantee back in the day he didn't pay more than $200 for.
Right.
So this is something that appears in everybody's house. We buy this every day. Rolex watches. The watch market is very strong. So if you have watches
Especially
you no longer wear,
Rolex, right?
especially Rolex, the Patek Philippe's, Vacheron Constantin, these are watches that are in strong demand. Silver, silver bullion, which is what we have here, which is basically just the value of the metal. These are great products. I buy and sell these every day. Tea sets, flatware. The holidays are coming. Thanksgiving's pretty soon, in a couple of weeks. And people look in their closet, they open up their box, and they see they have to polish their silver. They don't want to now. So they either choose to use their everyday silverware, or they're using disposable plastics. So the lifestyle has changed. The holidays are not as important, or they make it a little easier by having it catered.
clean up.
It's a different world today. Grandma's not in the kitchen cooking anymore. Our generation is, we order out. And that's what's happened with the silverware. There's been less demand for it, but it's quite valuable, and I do buy it. So whether I'm buying certain sets and trying to find pieces that are resaleable, or at least, if nothing else, it's worth its weight in silver.
Now I look at this, and I picked this up before. This could be like a nice little workout piece. How heavy this? How heavy is this? What
Well,
is this?
that's exactly 100 ounces, 100 troy ounces.
Okay.
So that has a value today of about $2,500.
Of silver.
Right. The last time we had a show, I think that same piece was about 1,800.
Wow.
So that's how much it's
It
gone
went
up.
up quite a bit.
Yes.
When people come in here with some of their, is there anything that was just like the craziest thing you saw? And the reason I'm asking that is some people say, obviously what you said is they want to keep it because it's really personal to them and it has, memories and so forth. But is there something that, you don't realize this, but you might have things that you're not aware are worth something? Like what could that be? Besides tea sets and candelabras and...
Well, the surprise items, when people find out maybe they've inherited a piece that was made by Tiffany's or Cartier or Buccellati, that's what excites me when I see these pieces. And when the seller comes in, they might not have known that these were from such designers, which are actually quite desirable and collectible. And I'm happy to pay a lot more money for those items. And those items I do have a strong market for.
Now, what I do like what you do is you might not take certain things. Somebody comes in here with a guitar or some other item, but you do have so many connections that you refer them in. But what are the special what is the key? I know you said silver, gold, diamond, so forth, but talk about exactly what your niche is as far as what people should bring to you.
The basic item that I buy every day is that old gold jewelry. Back in the 1980s, all the guys opened up their shirts and they had 3 or 4 chains on and they had a couple bracelets and rings. Well, nobody dresses like that. That's fashion. Nobody has that fashion today. But meanwhile, it's sitting in the drawers. So every day, the amount of gold we purchase just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. Back in the 1800s, the gold mines were out in California. Today, the gold mines are sitting in safe deposit boxes and in jewelry boxes in your neighborhood.
Right.
That's where the gold is today.
So you not only take these items in, and what do you do after you purchase them? What goes on?
Well, we've all heard that phrase, it's worth its weight in gold. So, as I said earlier, these have gone out of style, most of these items. And again, from the class rings to the pocket watches. When was the last time you popped open a pocket watch, Barry?
Right.
Nobody uses
Right.
them any longer.
Right.
But we melt those down. And that's the sad truth of what we do, is most of them get melted down. In fact, probably 98% of what I purchase gets melted. And that 2% that can be resold, either we're going to send them to auction, if we feel they're auction worthy, or we have individual buyers, people who have known in this industry for a long time there are still people who are accumulating and they still want certain products, for example, diamond stud earrings, or the occasional engagement ring that comes through. There's still a strong market for that. And I even find other jewelry stores who have become acquainted with over the years who look to fill in their inventories. So that's where that 2% goes. But again, the majority, it just gets melted. Just like I turn it into green pieces of paper for my clients, it gets turned into green pieces of paper for me too.
So not only do you take, now why should somebody come to you versus an auction house?
Great question. I offer immediate, instant payment. Whereas an auction house, it can be a 3, 4, 5-month process. But the difference is also there's no guarantee what the outcome's going to be at an auction house. I mean, you might be able to set a reserve, how much the least you'll be willing to accept, but one of the problems that's going on today is most auction houses are not accepting minimum reserves. They're just happy to get the item sold. They don't want to put a reserve on it. So my process is quick, easy, and immediate. There's for maybe, then it's a big maybe, that you might get a little more money, but it takes time. It takes months before you see your reward.
Right, so immediate. And that's,
I'm immediate payment.
so there's some people that do that. Now some people want to come in here and buy silver, buy gold.
Yes, yes.
Now I will, sometimes these shows are timeless, like you can watch them anytime, but it's November 2023. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about buying silver, gold, and so?
Well, I'm what they call a silver bug. So when I buy silver, I buy a lot, and I keep a lot for myself. I believe that silver right now is undervalued on the bullion end, so I'm still accumulating silver bullion.
Why do you think it's undervalued?
Well, it's gold is at its almost highest price it's ever been right now. It's just shy of $2,000. The highest it had ever gone was 2050, 2060, a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So it's still hovering around its all-time highs. Silver is half of its all-time highs. So most people who are in my industry believe silver has a nice run that's about to happen. So we are buyers of the silver bullion, again, me personally, and I have clients coming in every day wanting to buy silver and gold bullion. The advantage to the gold bullion, even though the price is high right now, it's much easier to carry. So, whereas this 100-ounce bar is $2,500,
Right.
you have 1 ounce of gold, that's $2,000, 1 ounce.
Right.
So you carry a lot more gold around with you than you can silver.
I've heard that a lot of the products we're making and technology and everything is some of the reasons why silver is needed more. Is that correct, or is there other reasons why you think it's going to be going up and up?
Well, silver is used in everything from medical devices to our solar panels to our e-cars. I even heard yesterday that they're actually used in warfare. That silver is actually in a lot of the military, the bombs we have today. There's X amount of pounds of silver. I don't know what they do there, but that's what I heard just yesterday. So silver is used, the use is widespread. And unlike gold, where this gold can get recycled on a regular basis, we see less and less silver getting recycled. And I don't know the answer to why that is, but so less is becoming available.
What is there something, before we go to a break, can we show the viewers anything unique that you've or any
I get some special pieces in, and I play a little game with my clients when they come in. little piece like this, which was made by Tiffany's, which most people today would have no clue what that is. What it looks like, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera. It looks like it's one of those old stamps that you put on the back of an envelope. You get the wax, the hot wax. But the reality is, this was for women in the 1940s and 50s and even the 60s. After they got their nails done, they needed to make a phone call, your rotary phone. They wouldn't stick their fingernail in the rotary. This was made by Tiffany's. It's sterling silver. And you use this to dial your telephone instead of ruining your freshly manicured fingernails. So a piece like that is just cool. Not very valuable, just cool.
The silver-wise, but do you think is it worth more as a collectible, or it's not as collectible as you think?
It's not really a collectible item. It's just a fun item.
Right.
It's a cool item. I have a piece here that we were able to, by its markings on the back, which look like hieroglyphics, I'm able to date this utensil back to 1735. I could tell by these markings it was made in London.
Wow.
And what this is a sterling silver bone marrow scoop. So back in the day, we ate every part of whatever you were eating at that meal, including the bone marrow. So this was a bone marrow scoop for the well-to-do. And of course, they had regular and stainless steel, or steel at the time, that the average person would use for the same purpose. This one happens to be in sterling silver.
So this is, you scooped in this end, right?
Both ends. This is for the smaller bones, and that's for the larger bones.
That's pretty cool.
Yum. Then a simple device like this, which...
Let's leave our viewers guessing.
Okay.
I would look at this, it's almost like maybe to put a candle out, but you're not going to tell them that. I'm looking, a little mini trumpet. But
I'm a musician myself. I'm a brass player, and I thought this might have been some kind of mouthpiece, because you can see through this. There's a hole here, it goes right through. So I thought maybe it plays like a horn, but the reality is...
Don't say it.
Don't say it? I won't say it. I'll keep it in suspense.
We're going to be right back, and we'll find out what this is and a lot more. Don't go away.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. I'm Barry Farber with Darryl Gay, founder and business owner of American Gold and Diamond Buyers, and just 43 years of doing this. Just so the viewers can understand, you're so passionate about it. You've always been. You're always excited when somebody comes in because you never know what you're going to see. But tell me about that experience. What keeps you going every day?
Well, I never know who I'm going to meet. I never know what item's going to see. But the best part is I'm giving people money. They say it's better to give than to receive. Let me tell you, it's a lot more fun when you're handing people hundreds or thousands of dollars for items that they thought were worth almost nothing in many cases. So it's an exciting, uplifting day. It's very happy in here. We're not nobody's depressed when they leave American Gold and Diamond Buyers. So I look forward to that every day. It's a wonderful experience.
Right. Antique Roadshow, you watch people's faces light up when they find out what it's worth.
Exactly.
It must be, you get that every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what, as you said earlier, like Antique Roadshow, Pawn Stars, all these shows all wrapped into one. But I do limit it to certain items. I don't buy the guitars, as you mentioned earlier. I don't buy lawn mowers. What I buy here are the silver, the golds, the platinum, the diamonds, the watches, the coins. The coin industry is huge. People overlook their coins collections. They remember, oh, Grandpa used to collect coins. I don't know why. I could tell you why. They're worth a lot of money. And we give you a lot of money for these coins. It's a hobby that today's kids generally don't get into. Well, why would they? Today you have the internet, you have other distractions.
2009, you had a whole group of people that you were working with. Tell us about that and why it's important to let the viewers know about what you do.
Well, in 2009, I came up with the idea of doing a home-based business. What I do here in our showroom, we duplicate right in someone's home. Think of I hate to use the expression, a Tupperware party, but think of a Tupperware party. You invite all your friends over. They hate to get that invitation. No offense to Tupperware, everybody has some. But you get that invitation, I don't really want to go, I have to buy something I don't necessarily need or want, but you go to support your girlfriend or your male friend. So with my parties, everybody wants to go because they're going to bring the items they no longer want or need, and they're going to leave with money. They're going to leave with cash for these items they maybe didn't feel comfortable walking into a store. They don't want to be seen walking into a store, a cash for gold store. That's why we don't operate that way. But what I was able to do, I had 160 people working for me in 9 different states, whereas I taught these individuals how to do exactly what we do here in East Hanover every day. And we just mimic the process in the homes.
What would you tell somebody if they want to do something like this? They want to contact you, not only to maybe bring their materials in here for you to review or evaluate, but also maybe they want to start something where they can do what you do.
I have the best, I hate to call it a part-time job because you'll never look at it as a job because you'll love doing it, but I teach people how to give money to someone else for their unwanted items. And I do all the training right here. You are given tests, so you know what you're doing. And the best part is you use my money. Most sales jobs on the part-time basis, they ask you to come up with funding to be part of whatever they're selling. And I don't want to mention other companies' names who do these home-based parties, but I'm the only one where you receive, your guests receive money as opposed to asking them to spend money they might not have right now. We're going into tougher times, a lot of people feel.
How would they get in touch with you? What's the best way that the viewers can get in touch with you?
Of course, I'd love to have you just walk into my showroom here in East Hanover, right on Route 10, or my website, which is AmericanCashForGold.com. My phone number is 973-428-1900. You'll always get somebody here who can advise you, come on in with your items, or you want to learn how to do business with us, along with us.
Awesome. And we didn't forget, by the way, what that item was we were going to tell you, right, Darryl?
Oh, yeah, we kept you in suspense.
What in the world is this thing?
Well, this is an item that would have been used 100 plus years ago. This was made by Tiffany's. Of course, everybody knows Tiffany's.
Everybody makes it.
And so it's not a bugle, it's not a candle snuff router, although that's close. What I have here, this is an old teapot. And underneath, I don't know if you can see, there's a burner. So think of a sterno. So rather than putting your face close to the burner to blow it out, this basically is an extension to extinguish the flame. So
High-class extension.
You need a high-class extension made in sterling silver. This is all hand engraved. This has to be 140 years old.
Wow.
I love this piece. It's a great conversation piece.
It's awesome. So that's the great thing, keeps you excited. You never know what somebody's going to bring in. You never know what you're going to get.
And who are you going to meet? Meet some wonderful people here.
This has been awesome. Darryl, it's a pleasure. Always. It's good to see you after
Barry?
4 years. You look better. You look like you're getting younger. Maybe this job is good for you.
No, it's the surgery and the Botox.
Oh, Botox. Okay. Let me know where you go. Darryl, thanks for coming on. Barry Farber, mind your business. See you next time.